Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Lone Star Chick Plants and we are back with another video. And today, actually it's been a couple of weeks, I guess. I wanted to put a video out this weekend, but we went out of town and I just ran out of time and didn't get a chance to film. So I'm doing it today, so stay tuned you guys. We'll have a couple of videos the next couple of days, so I'm gonna try to put them all out there one by one. But we'll start with our paycheck number 2 closeout for the month of April. So I am paid semi-monthly, so I budget twice a month. And I also like to recap the month by doing my monthly overview after the paycheck is done. So I combine the two to see overall how we did for the month. I do use my credit cards and I do pay them in full. Every week I settle out my expenses and pay my cards back for all the spending we did that week. So I'm not an entirely cash budgeter, but I do save cash for my sinking funds, and I do pay my card back when I pull from my sinking funds. So I pretty much do all my spending on my credit cards. I have 2 credit cards, my Capital One Saver Rewards credit card that I use for most of my spending, and I use my Amex Blue Cash Preferred card for gas and groceries and subscriptions. So yellow on my expenses is for Capital One and blue on my expenses is for American Express. And so you can kind of see my spending, and whenever I spend, I usually try to settle them out every week and pay them in full. So I'm keeping up every week with my budget. And this way, by the end of my pay cycle, I am got everything paid back in full and ready to start the next one. So I'm usually paid on about the last day of the month. It varies a couple of days between the last couple of days of the month. Sometimes, I get paid on different days. So I just try to gauge for the last of the month, last couple of days of the month, budget up until that point, and then I'm paid again somewhere around the 15th of the month. And that also varies a couple of days here and there. So it's usually before the 15th, and it's usually before the last day of the month. So that's how I'm paid. I do work full time. My husband also works full time, and we're just basically saving and budgeting to try to get to retire a little bit faster. And that's what we're working towards. So we're trying to get this debt paid off because we do have some goals coming up that we want to fulfill, and this is going to help us get there. So yeah, so that's basically how we do things. But we basically live off of my income, and my husband's income is used for saving, investing, and as well as my income as well. And then basically we use his income to also build our emergency fund as much as possible. So that's how we do that. So we try to live within our one income for the most part. Our house is paid for, our vehicles are paid for. So the only thing that we do pay, annually, we do pay our property taxes and insurance in full every year. And our car insurance is also paid in full every 6 months. So we're just saving. You guys don't really see that here. I may start showing that, but you guys don't really see that here because that's just a transfer from one account to another. So I don't really track that as far as my income goes because we don't use my income to do that. We use my son pays his portion of the income, and then my husband pays the rest of it. And that's just a transfer from his account, from his paycheck to our savings account where we save it. We do save our money in Wealthfront because we try to put our money to work for us. So we get a little bit of interest there every month for saving our money there. So that's how we do that. So we just transfer the money to Wealthfront every month and we just save. And then once we need to pay our car insurance or our property tax and stuff like that, we'll just make a transfer back. And this time in the meantime will earn us interest over the course of 6 months or a year, however often we're saving. So we get a little bit of money in return for saving. So that's how we do that. So let's see, we started this paycheck. We'll just summarize this paycheck. So we started this paycheck with a rollover of $357.74. Our total income for this paycheck was $2,437.65. And this was my second half of the month paycheck. And that was income from paycheck number 2, and that was $2,082.65. My son contributed $200. And I did pull from my pet sinking fund to pay for some stuff that I needed to get for my dog. That was $120. And then my husband's friend paid us back for some pizza that we ordered over the weekend. I think like 2 weekends ago. So that was $35. So total, that was $2,437.65. So we'll start with savings. We did contribute $125 to our house savings account, and that account is basically kind of like a catch-all. It's emergency plus just maintenance around the house, just, you know, anything we might need it for. We just kind of have it all lump sum together. We don't have separate sinking funds for emergency and savings and, you know, anything else. We just have just a big pot of money, and that's where we just contribute. So we contribute out of my paycheck as well as, you know, most of my husband's paycheck. So that's how we're doing that. And then our sinking funds, we pulled $334 this paycheck, and you should have seen my cash stuffing video for that. And then we invested $10 into my SoFi IRA, and that's on automatic transfer. We also had 2 bills to pay, and that was our water bill that was due on the 15th, and that was $59.36. And our Hulu bill, which was $3.24. We did pay some debt, and that was $268 to loan number 2. And for variable expenses, let's see, groceries. So groceries was a good month for us. We have saved a bunch on groceries this month, and that was because we stocked up on meat and stuff at Sam's last month, and that has really been lasting us this whole time. So for groceries this pay period, and that's about what, 2.5 weeks, we only spent $125.40. So remaining was $240.13 is what we had left over in our budget that we did not spend. So eating out, we budgeted $76, and we did go a little bit over budget there. For gas, we were under budget. We only spent $32 of the $70 that we budgeted, and that left us with $37.92. For our pets, since our dog passed away, now we only have one doggy left, and so I didn't need to buy a bag of dog food, and I probably won't need to buy as often anymore. So this is probably going to be something that I'm going to revisit on my budget, because right now, I mean, we still have food. We probably could go another week or 2 without buying any food, as she's been having some stomach upset issues, some digestive issues anyway. So she's been eating special food from the vet, which we'll also talk about in my May budget. I did have to take her back to the vet last week before we went out of town, because she wasn't eating, and I thought maybe she was depressed from our other dog passing away and stuff like that, but I think it's more of a digestive issue. I think we have 2 different things going on. She's been having some trouble with her leg, and then also with the digestive upset. So we did have to get some special food from the vet, so we've been feeding her that for the last couple of days. So we may not have to buy, you know, food from here just yet. So we're going to have to see how that goes. But, you know, so this is up in the air as far as our budget goes. But I'm thinking we might have to buy 1 bag of food per month versus 2 bags of food per month. So I want to kind of really track that to see how long it's lasting us before we have to buy again. So I think that's what's going to happen. Beauty, I did get my lashes done. That was $65. For spending, I did go a little bit over, and we'll see why. I can't even remember. So I budgeted $100, and I spent $37.31. Vacation, we did pay for our 2 vacations coming up. This was flights to go see my daughter next month, and that's going to be another trip we're going to take, $762.76. And then this was a weekend trip that we just took, and that was $291. And then for household, we did need to buy a couple of things, and that was $59.47. And then pet supplies, I bought my dog some stuff. She needed like a new collar and a leash and some shampoo, and we had to get her some supplements for her digestive issues and her joint problems. She's developing arthritis, so we got her some chews, and oh my god, I can't remember what else we got. I think I got like a nail grinder for her nails because her nails have been getting really long being inside, and I just don't have the time or the patience to drive. We live kind of in a rural area, so it's a drive to go anywhere. So to, you know, take her to the vet to have them clip her nails. So I got a nail grinder, so we're going to try that and see how that goes. So that was everything that I got for her, was about $120. So I did take $120 from my sinking fund and deposit that into the bank to reimburse for that amount spent. So that's how we do that. So I have the sinking fund in cash. I take the money that I need out, I deposit it into the bank, and then I will use that money to pay my credit card back for all of this spending that I did. But I use my credit card so that I can get, you know, cash back rewards and points to go towards future purchases or bills. So that's how we did that. So just to recap, I'm not exactly sure where we left off on spending. We'll just kind of recap everything that was done. So oh, maybe we didn't even go over spending. I can't remember. But we'll just start from the top. We'll just summarize it real quick. I don't want to make this a really long video. We're already at about 13-14 minutes. So let's just try to get through this real quick because I want to recap the month with you guys. April 12th, we started out with paying for our airline for our airfare to go see our daughter in May. And then $291 was for hotel and rental car for the vacation we just took this past weekend. We went out to LA to a car show for my husband for a hobby of his, and so we went out there for part business, part pleasure, and a couple of friends went with us as well, and so we went and did that. And so this was kind of a split cost between several people, so that's why it was a little bit cheaper. $268 for loan number 2 that was paid. $334 that we pulled for sinking funds. For gas, we spent $24.01 at Murphy. I did, so you guys have probably seen my mom's budget videos, and so this was the day that my mom's apartment flooded, and so I bought us breakfast to start the day, and then I bought us lunch for $22.93 later on that day. And then we had to go to Walmart and get some stuff that she needed to replace in her apartment. And I also have some of the stuff from this purchase that I actually need to return because we bought more than what we thought we needed. So I do have a return against this purchase, but I haven't done it yet, so that's why you haven't seen it yet. So probably on my next paycheck, when I have time, I'll be able to go back to Walmart and get my money back for those things. So for now, that's on the budget here because that is what was actually spent. I did buy her a replacement monitor cord for her monitor for her computer at home, and that was $12.98. Bought it on Amazon. I got her trash bag holder, so it's kind of like one of those holder racks that you hang on the cabinet door, and you can put the rolls of trash bags and stuff in it and pull it out through it, so you don't need to have the box because she's on limited space under her kitchen sink, so she really doesn't have that much storage. So I thought, well, I have one, so I thought, oh, well, maybe this would be good for her as well. So I went ahead and got her one. I got my lashes done for $65. We did pair water bill for $59.36. I got some Nair, we know what that is, from Amazon for $12.80. At Sam's, I spent $66.52 on some groceries. $59.47 for some household goods, which was toilet paper, trash bags, and some scent boosters for laundry. That was also at Sam's. We did cash in some cashback rewards, and that was $16.13. And I applied that towards spending. So on this spreadsheet, you can either put it here as a credit towards, and then you can apply it to a category. So if you wanted to say, I wanted a cashback and use these cashback rewards for something that I put in my spending category, you would put it here. But if it was just cashback in general and you really didn't have a specific category that you wanted to apply it to, then you could also put it in the sinking funds section. So you could do it either way. I like to put it in my expenses section so that I can apply it to a particular category that I want to. So that's how I do that. Because it's not really even cash coming back into my bank account, but you could put it up there and it would still, you know, essentially be the same thing. So it's still increasing your income because that's not money you have to pay back to your card. So the next purchase was Amazon. I bought a memory card for when I transfer videos that I do with my phone. I can transfer it to the memory card and put it on my computer. It's a lot easier than trying to plug my phone in every time and trying to transfer it that way. That was $7.46. We bought some more groceries this week, $45.86 at Kroger. I put gas for $31 at Murphy. I cashed in my American Express rewards, and this was rewards that I earned in the month of March. So as you can see, I mean, that almost pretty much paid for 1 week of groceries, or let's say a tank and then some of gas, for, you know, just paying for groceries and gas and subscriptions on my American Express. So that's about how much I earned in the month. So they only cash you out one time a month. So this is what I earned in the month of, from expenses from March till April, till the beginning of April. And then this is how much I earned. So pretty good if you ask me. $40 for spending money that I would have spent anyway. So, you know, I'm pretty good with that, and I like that. So they only cash you out when they, you know, cut off your statement and you get your, you know, statement for the month to pay your bills. So that's when the rewards come out. They don't come out daily like my Capital One card. So my Capital One card usually always have rewards there. You know, it might be a couple bucks or it might be a bunch. It just depends how much spending I've done or how many bills I've paid. So it's always there. McDonald's, I did buy some breakfast for $1.08. Dollar General, we got a couple of things for groceries. I think it was for breakfast, $13.02. We did cash in some Capital One rewards, and that was $5.33. And I applied that towards the spending as well. We did save our money in our house savings account, and that was $125. We did contribute to our SoFi IRA. That was $10. We put more gas at Murphy for $17.75. Domino's, that was the pizza we bought, and our friend decided to pay for it, so he paid us back, and that was $35 that he paid back, and the pizza was only $3.27, so we actually made a couple bucks there off of that. And then I bought breakfast a couple of days for $1.08 at McDonald's. I did buy lunch one day for $15.44. I also took my husband's clothes to the cleaners for our trip this weekend. That wasn't really budgeted because I wasn't sure how much it would be. But now that I know, I'll know how to budget this going forward, and I will budget it next time. $21.83 was the bill, and I just put that in my spending category. So that's kind of also why my spending category is over, is because I put this in my spending category. I didn't break that out of my budget. So I bought something on Etsy for a shirt design that I'm working on for a family member. That was $1.45. I did cash in some more rewards for $3.05 for my Capital One card, and I applied that towards my spending category. Hulu was $3.24, and then I did buy some lunch last week, and that was $15.05. And then I got the supplies for my dog, and that was $120, which I pulled from my sinking fund and put back in my account to pay that back. So that was somewhat budgeted for. So we're ending this paycheck with $303.36 to roll over for the month of May. And when we do the May budget video, which should be coming up after this, I'll talk about how I'm going to use that money. It's pretty much mostly going to go towards debt. So we'll talk about that in our next video. But for right now, let's just talk about how we did the month. let's see how we ended. So we started the month with $127.38. Total income for the month of April was $5,204. For expenses, we paid out $2,526, and that is for variable expenses. So that's our groceries, pets, gas, beauty, spending, stuff like that. That was $2,526. For bills, we paid out $896. For debt payments, we still managed to pay $1,000 of debt, even though we paid for other things in the month. So for me, I'm happy with that number because I thought it would be less, but it's actually ended up being $1,000. So I'm totally happy with that. My goal was to try to pay at least $1,000 towards debt. Savings, we saved $584 this month, and investments, we did $10 like we have been for the last few months. And so that left us with $303 to roll over to the month of May. So that's pretty much how that looks. So for pretty much all our bills came in pretty much on target on what we budgeted, except for our DirecTV. And that was because we didn't know how much it was going to be. So I just estimated. And then when we finally got the bill, so now I'll know for next month, that it's going to be, $105.67. That's about what I should be expecting. So let's just talk about variables real quick, because that's really where we won this month. We were under budget in our variable expenses by $423.45. The majority of it, you could say, was groceries, and that was $385.08 that we were under budget from prior months. So I've been kind of budgeting the same number, but every month it seems like we've been saving more and more and more. This month was just insane, you guys. I don't even know how we saved this much money, because I did cook a lot, we ate a lot, but we've been kind of eating out of the pantry. We've been just eating, what we have from what we have in the fridge and the freezer, and so that's really been saving us money, and that is, that shows. We were able to save $385 this month on groceries. Now, we did go over and eating out a little bit, so if you net those two out, that's still $338.63 overall that was saved as far as food is concerned. That's amazing. I'm totally happy with that. And that is the reason why we're going to be able to roll that money over and use it to pay towards debt. Because as you guys know, May is going to be another month where I think I'm going to be a little bit slow on paying debt. And so I'm excited to be able to have that rollover to kind of make up for that lack of income that I'm going to need to use for other things. So I'm excited about that. $60 is what we were under budget, or almost $61 is what we were under budget as far as gas goes. So we were definitely doing pretty good there as well. I'm happy with that number. Pets also, we were under, and this is just food, okay, you guys? This is just food. We were spending about this much money for food per month, but with our dog passing away, that's going to be significantly reduced. So it will probably be about this much every month going forward. So $53.30 is what we were under budget by overall. Beauty, that's just to get my lashes done, and that was $65 and $65, so that was $130. So that came in on target. We went over a little bit on spending, and we went over why that was. Why was that? I can't remember. What was it about? Oh, I'm pretty sure that was the stuff I bought for my mom that wasn't planned. And that was also had to do with the cleaners expense there. So that was pretty much why we were pretty much over budget. Otherwise, I think we would have definitely been way under that budget. So, that happens. I didn't really have a sinking fund to be able to pull it from. So I just used, my spending money, because that's also what that's for. So I went ahead and spent that money there. But since I knew we were under budget on groceries and gas and pets, I knew that I had kind of that wiggle room in my budget to be able to spend that money. So I'm okay with being over budget there, and that is the reason why. Otherwise, I probably maybe would not have spent that money. I wouldn't have been as loosey-goosey with it, because I would have been, I definitely try to stay within this budget. I don't care how it ends up, but overall, if I'm over in one category, I would like to be under in another category to make up that difference, so that my difference here is always in the positive, so that it's always under budget or right at the budget, because this is money that I've already pretty much considered spent. So when I don't have to spend it, that's a bonus. So that's, kind of what I strive to do is, if I know I'm going to be going over in one category, I try to, not go over in another category, so that I can make up that difference. So that's pretty much how I look at that. I look at this as being one bucket and one pot of money, even though I do have it budgeted out. But I try to stay within that number. That's my goal at the end of the month. Every month is, or every paycheck even, is just stay under that number. Stay within that, stay within that number for the total, for the difference. Try not to go over, try not to be in the red on that. So that's great. Everything else kind of came in on, what we spent, what I planned for. So that was good. So I mean, between all these categories are right here, which is our main categories that we usually put on variable expenses, these were all things that are not normal expenses. So within these expenses alone right here, I mean, this is what the difference is. So I mean, I think that's pretty freaking good. Overall, for the month of April, we only spent $380.45 on groceries. We spent $222.45 on eating out. So for both of those, that was $602.90 that we spent on food overall. And that was $941.53 is what was budgeted. So we definitely, I think, did very good there, even though we did go over on eating out a little bit. But we bought way less groceries because we were eating out of our pantry. So it kind of all evens out in the end. But man, I am ecstatic about that number. Let's look at debt real quick. I'm not even sure what did we do here. So we managed to pay $400 towards our Discover card. We did pay our normal Pays in account. I'm trying to pay my TJ Maxx card and my Macy's card off, which, I still have a little bit of a balance, but I think on my paycheck number 1 of May, when we go over that budget, I'm going to be paying those in full. I think I'm going to be using some of this rollover money. So this way, the rest of the month, I can put everything I have towards my Discover card, because that's really the focus right now. I just don't want these small balances hanging out, because I think it's like $100 and $100. So I want to just get those done and paid, because that money is already spent, and those, have a little bit of interest accruing there. So I just, want to just get them done, so I have less monthly individual bills to pay. I have one more medical bill that I need to take care of as well. On top of this one, I have another bill that came in, so I need to pay that. I want to say it's going to be about $200 that I have to pay. They just keep coming, you guys. So hopefully I can take care of that. I need to figure out how much it's going to be, so I can just go ahead and pay it maybe in June if I can. My loan number 1 is my balance transfer credit card that we did last month. And that was from a personal loan that was transferred to my credit union credit card that I didn't have a balance on. So I got them to increase my limit so that I could do a balance transfer. And so that is going to be my next focus after my Discover card. So my goal is still to try to pay my Discover card by November, December. And then after that, the focus will be my balance transfer card. But I'm going to leave this as loan number 1 because I want to remember what it was. And I don't really want to disclose my credit union just for privacy reasons. Because that pretty much will tell you where I live. So I don't want to do that. So I want to just leave it like that and then do that here. So yeah, so we still managed to pay $1,000. So that's amazing. I still was able to pull $400 out of the hat on that one. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, I think overall this month went pretty well considering everything. The only other things that came up during the month that kind of have messed with the budget for May is another vet bill. And that was about $450 that I need to pay. And I may pull that out of my emergency fund since that's what we have it for. Me and my husband haven't decided yet how we're going to handle that. So we need to, because that just happened Friday over the weekend. I'm filming this on Monday, so that happened on Friday. So we didn't really talk about how we're going to handle that, so I need to talk with my husband about that and see what we're going to do about that. But that was about $450. So once we figure that out, I'll go ahead and pay that. That was on my credit card. So, and if anything, it's 0 interest, so we can take our time paying that back. But I really want to have less bills to pay, so I really kind of want to pay that in full and just get it done. So we may have to regroup in the month of June and see how May goes. But hopefully we won't have to take her back again. And if we do, hopefully it's minimal because she's still having issues. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That's pretty much April. April was a good month. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, so that will be, we'll end the video here and we'll pick back up on May's budget in the next video. So stay tuned, you guys. Happy budgeting, and let's look forward to the month of May and, you know, check in on our budgets. So have a good week, you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.